Getting a divorce in New Mexico is actually simpler than you might think. One spouse must be a New Mexico resident for at least 6 months before filing for divorce and have a home in New Mexico. The divorce may be filed in any county where either spouse resides. Once the residency requirement is completed, a legal grounds for a divorce must be established. Both general and no-fault divorce are acceptable grounds for divorce. The no-fault reason is incompatibility because of discord and conflicts of personalities, such that the legitimate ends of the marriage relationship have been destroyed, preventing any reasonable expectation of reconciliation. The general reasons are adultery, abandonment, and cruel and inhuman treatment. New Mexico requires a parenting plan for child custody. Joint or sole custody is determined by the best interests of the child. Presumably, joint custody is in the best interest of the child unless shown otherwise. Considered in all custody situations are the wishes of the parents, the relationship of the child with parents, siblings, and other significant family members, the child's adjustment to his or her home, school, and community, and the mental and physical health of all individuals involved. If a minor is 14 or older, the court may consider his or her wishes. In determining joint custody, considerations are the ability of the parents to cooperate and make decisions jointly, the physical proximity of the parents to each other as this relates to the practical considerations of where the child will reside, whether an award of joint custody will promote more frequent or continuing contact between the child and each of the parents, the love, affection, and other emotional ties existing between the parents and the child, the capacity and disposition of the parents to provide the child with food, clothing, medical care, and other material needs, whether each parent is willing to accept all the responsibilities of parenting, including a willingness to accept or relinquish care at specific times, whether each parent is able to allow the other to provide care without intrusion, the suitability of a parenting plan for the implementation of joint custody, and whether any domestic abuse has occurred. Either parent may be ordered to provide child support based on the financial resources of that parent. Welfare benefits are not considered. Specific child support guidelines and worksheets are provided. Separate worksheets are provided for determining child support amounts for parents with visitation rights and parents with shared responsibility. Shared responsibility or joint custody is defined as each parent having the child in their home at least 35% of the year. Child support guidelines are contained in New Mexico statutes annotated Article 4, Section 40-4-11.1. These guidelines are presumed correct unless that amount would be unjust or inappropriate under the circumstances. Specifically, any extraordinary uninsured medical, dental, or counseling expenses for the child of over $100 per year, any extraordinary educational expenses for the child, and any transportation and communication expenses for long-distance visitation or time-sharing. Substantial hardship for either parent or the child may also impact the payment amount. The assignment and withholding of wages to secure the payment may be ordered. New Mexico is a community property state. Each spouse retains his or her separate property acquired before the marriage, designated as separate property by a written agreement, and any gifts or inheritances. New Mexico uses a quasi-community property definition, which consists of all property except separate property that a spouse acquires outside of New Mexico, which would have been community property if they had acquired it in New Mexico. Quasi-community property is treated like standard community property. The spouse's community property is to be divided equally. There are no considerations in the statute. Either spouse may be awarded just and proper maintenance regardless of marital fault. Considerations are the duration of the marriage, the spouse's current and future earning capacities, the good faith efforts of the spouses to maintain employment or become self-supporting, the needs and obligations of each spouse, the age, health, and means of the spouses, the amount of property that each spouse owns, the spouse's standard of living during the marriage, the maintenance of medical and life insurance during the marriage, the assets and property of the spouses, including any income-producing property. However, requiring a spouse to sell assets shall not be considered unless there are exceptional circumstances. Each spouse's liabilities, and any marital separation or settlement agreements. New Mexico has provisions for establishing domestic relations mediation programs. If such programs have been established in the county where the divorce is filed, parents may request such programs, or the court may order the program. Visit us today at mydivorcepapers.com and click on New Mexico at the bottom of the page. Let mydivorcepapers.com help you file for divorce today.